Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Got in a knife to take a look at. This one's coming from Fintiso and the model is the Atlas. They're going to be using pretty decent steel with this one. It's going to have really good ball bearings and it's going to be coming in around $40. So stick around if you want to learn about it. I'll do a real quick unboxing. I'll go over all the features and specifications of it. We'll do some cutting with it and then give some thoughts on it. So when compared to some other budget branded knives, their packaging is actually very nice. So it comes like in this outer little sleeve, and then there's this box here that has like this magnetic flip closure here, and then looks like we're gonna have like a little zippered bag that everything comes in, and then some type of manual. I thought this manual might show you how to like completely disassemble the knife and stuff, but it doesn't. It really just kind of gives you some precautions. Talks about their warranty, which is lifetime, and then it does give you some of their social media stuff. So again, they do include this little zippered pouch that is branded up there. And then inside of it, we're going to get the Atlas, a cleaning cloth, which is also branded. I definitely appreciate that. Looks like there are some extra screws and a sticker, and then that is very soft inside of there. So here is the Atlas. Give you guys some quick close-ups before we start going over all the details. So my version is obviously this light green or olive color with this black blade finish. They also make this with a black handle and like a satin finish, and then also an aluminum handle, I believe, with some type of satin finish. And as you just saw, you're going to have a flipper tab for opening, which does have some jimping on it. You're also going to have these thumb holes right here. They actually have cut out part of this handle to allow you to get up in there a whole lot easier from either side. Speaking of the handle, this is G10. It has some really nice texturing on it. Almost looks like a wood grain pattern, and even feels a little bit different than a lot of other G10. We do have a pocket clip here that looks like that is reversible. Almost has like a fuller running right through the middle of that. Another thing about that clip, as you can see, it's kind of angled right there. That allows it to slide into your pocket much easier. Once it gets in there, looks like really good retention on that. Looks like this is going to have a lanyard hole, so if that's the way you prefer to carry it, you got that going on. It is going to be tip up carry in your pocket. Speaking of that, let's look at the centering. Looks to be just about perfect. On the one side of the pivot, you do have the Fintiso logo. The other side is just a single screw, so I'll have to see if that makes that any more difficult getting that out for disassembly. And like I mentioned earlier, this does have ball bearings. You got a flipper tab and the thumb hole. Very smooth action on this guy. This is going to have a liner lock. Try to show you the take up here. It looks to be at least a third, but very solid lock up there. The liners are stainless, but they have been milled or pocketed to try to save weight, and I'll let you guys know what that is here later. As far as blade lockup, blade play, pretty much zero. Nothing side to side, nothing up and down. As far as the action with closing, let's see what that's about. Detent on that is excellent. Yeah, it's almost like a magnet when it gets back in there. As far as this blade, it is a drop point. It's got a full grind on it. Try to show you a close-up of that. This should be a very good slicer. We're also going to have a swedge along here. We do have some jimping there, kind of on that thumb ramp. Very small choil down here. As far as gripping it, I wear an extra large glove and I can get all 4 fingers on there pretty easily. I can feel that pocket clip just a little bit in my hand, but it's not like digging in or anything like that, and I'm squeezing really hard. Another thing they've done a really nice job with here is they've actually kind of rounded every single thing on this handle so that when it's in your hand, you don't really feel any of this type of stuff digging in at all. As far as dimensions go on the Atlas, we're looking at a blade length of around 3.38 inches, a handle length of 4.5 inches, for a total length of 7.88 inches. We're looking at a blade thickness of 0.14 inches and handle thickness of 0.57 inches. The blade height at its widest spot right there is 1.2 inches, and the handle height at its biggest is right around 1 inch. And there it is next to a couple other knives just for a quick comparison. Top one is a Gerber fast draw. The bottom one's a Benchmade mini griptilian. So you can see that the Atlas is a little bit on the larger side. As far as weight, we're looking at right at about exactly 4 ounces, which is 114 grams. So I mentioned earlier in the video that they're using a decent steel. It's actually 14C 28N. This has a hardness of 62, so it's less likely to chip. It's got really good like corrosion resistant properties, very easy to sharpen. But let's get into some cutting with this. This is basically right out of the box. I haven't even like wiped the blade or done anything with it, but let's just kind of see what it does here. So I do believe that was me kind of slowing down too much there. Yeah, that's a really clean cut. And I'm purposely going slow just to see if it does stop me at all. Extremely sharp right out of the box though. All right, up next I have an index card. These are more like card stock though. It's like twice, maybe even 3 times as thick as a regular index card. And this will really show you how jagged or how clean a cut is. I kind of look for all these little edges that pop up along here, and that's actually very, very clean. There's just a little bit at the end. And again, that could have been me just how I drug it. All right, up next I have some corrugated cardboard. Let's see how this does with it. Very, very clean cut on that. That was me just not going all the way through. All right, up next I'm gonna do some small cordage here. Just kind of see what this is like. Yeah, no trouble getting through this. I'll kind of do it out toward the tip and not put much pressure on it. Yeah, still right through that. All right, this stuff here is a struggle for almost every knife. It is like this plasticky kind of rope that's really hard to get through. Even like razor blades and stuff have a really hard time with this. I made it through in one pass. That's actually really surprising. Most knives cannot do that. Like this stuff gets hung up on the blade and you actually can't even hardly pull it through right. Let's try it again. Yeah, this actually is really sharp. Try some plastic next. Got a zip tie here. See if it gets through this easily. Oh yeah, no trouble at all. This is like one of those bands that come around. This came on a refrigerator box actually. So we'll see if it has any trouble getting through that. Yeah, no trouble at all. Let's try a couple other ways here of cutting this rope. Yeah, no problem with that. Let's try this. This stuff like will almost like shed the rope just everywhere. So we'll see if this can get through it. Very, very clean. That's one of the cleanest cuts that I've ever tested. Usually this stuff just shreds all over the place. I am going to try this cable next. It has 3 wires inside. I don't know if it'll make it through this, but we will see here. It definitely cut through it. All right, up next I got some fairly thick heater hose. Let's see if it makes it through this. How much pressure I got to put down. And again, it cut through pretty easily. And I'll try to maybe get a couple like small wood shavings here just to kind of see what it does. Quickly show you guys what that's going to look like in your pocket. Again, a fairly deep carry pocket clip on it. You got just a little bit that's going to stick up out of the pocket. So have you guys ever heard of Fintiso? Or do you have any knives of theirs? If so, let me know down in the comments. So I have a few other knives from Fintiso. They've been great. My initial impressions on this one is that it's a really solid knife, especially for the $40 price tag. You know, they're using a pretty decent stainless steel with that 14C 28N G10 handle, a really smooth action on it. It's extremely sharp right out of the box. During my cutting test there, I did not notice any type of hot spots anywhere on this at all. The blade lockup on it is great. There really is not any type of wiggle in any direction at all. As far as the appearance, I love almost everything about it. This green and black just complement each other so well. I probably could do without the Fintiso company name right there because it already has the logo kind of right there next to it. I'd rather just the blade be all black, but that's just a personal thing. I guess another thing is like this little spacer here. I think the green on green on green, I don't know, just doesn't work for me. I kind of wish that either wasn't there at all or if it maybe was black, but again, that's just a personal thing. But as far as like flex and stuff, there is zero. I don't care how hard you squeeze on that. That thing is not going in at all. So they've done a great job with that. You know, these are just initial impressions. You know, I will put it in the carry rotation and use it for a few months and see if any of my thoughts change. But yeah, right now I really like it. Would definitely recommend it. So these are available on the Fintiso website. It's fintiso.com. They're $42 on there. I believe there's a 10% off coupon code, bringing them well under $40. But I don't know what shipping cost is from the website. They're also available on Amazon. I know it says $90 right there, but there's actually a clickable coupon that brings them down to $45. And I'll leave links to both of those sites in case you want to find out any more information on the knife. I know Amazon, there's close to 100 reviews, so if you want to read any of those, or if you want to pick one up. But all right, guys, if you found the video helpful or informative in any way, please hit that like button. It really helps the channel out. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And that's going to be it on this one. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it.